Is being a Marsh King better or a Swamp King better? I don't know. Having like Swamp Ass versus Marsh Ass. I think Marsh Ass is better. Maybe? Chase Liaki here with the Blue Futon reviewing The Marsh King's Daughter. So what's it about? Pretty simple premise. There's a girl that lived in the marsh for about 13 years of her life, but realized, wait a minute, am I here on my own free will? Did someone kidnap us? And now, multiple years later, her dad is out of jail or escaped jail, and now she has to face her past. So, do you like this film? This is a very interesting movie that Lionsgate does. And what do I mean by that? Lionsgate does a lot of these straight to DVD movies and also like kind of do these low budget movies that rarely hit theaters. For example, this, Plane, and other movies on that level where these movies where you're like, it's on the verge of being in theaters or straight to DVD, and this one made it to the theater route, maybe because of the director, Neil Berg, but I thought it was a decently well-made movie, even though you could say it was a little bit anticlimactic and you knew what was going to happen to most of the characters. Actually, you knew what was going to happen to all the characters. But when I talk about the positives of this film, I do think when it came to the overall aesthetics of the movie, it was well shot. You could tell this was in real life marshland and very, very few CGI or green screen shots. And the only CG or green screen shots were some explosions or going down the hill, if you want to call it, in the final battle, because it reminded me of Swordfish, but Swordfish was done such a badass way, and that's like an early 2000s movie. Still a great movie, but this is kind of the same realm of that. And I do like the containment of this film, because you expect this movie, because you know for a fact she has a husband and a daughter, that this could expand to, you know what, he's going to kidnap them, and she's going to save them as well. And just having it as a father and daughter storyline and keeping it contained, that nice little bubble, I think enhance the story. Yes, you know for a fact there's one character for sure that once you understand his backstory, you're like, yep, you're going to die somewhere in the story. And then right when they enter, you're like, yep, you're dying in 3, 2, 1, and you're dead. So that kind of leads to the negative, where I could say this is a well-shot movie, greatly acted by Ben Mendelsohn and Daisy Ridley. The story itself is just very unforgiving and just very generic. You know every beats per minute to this story of what character decisions are going to lead to what, who's going to go to where, and why is it going to occur. You know for a fact why the gun is there, and you know it's going to come back in the story. You know that character is in there, and it's going to come back. You know that little thing is also going to come back. So there's no room for surprises in this movie, and that's either going to hinder the experience, or if you're just going to just enjoy what's happening on screen for the hour and 47 minutes, you're just going to enjoy it for that reasoning. So overall, The Marsh King's Daughter is a okay film. It's nothing horrendous. Like, nothing in this movie is like, well, that shit. But also nothing in this movie is like, well, that's really good and that's really good. It's by the book. It's a fine little experience. And it's another just simple turn off your brain and enjoy the landscape type of film. So The Marsh King's Daughter will receive a 3 out of 5 Blue Futons, which equals at 60%. Let's see what the critics' news scores gave this one. So you have critics a 38% with 24 of them. Critic consensus: The Marsh King's Daughter begins with plenty of promise and has a remarkable cast, but they're outweighed by the story's daunting pace and clumsy conclusion. Sure, you could say the pace was somewhat iffy in the conclusion. I kind of enjoyed the conclusion because it wasn't bombastic and it was, like I say, grounded, down to earth. 60-38. Chase Sock here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what thinks Futon Topi. You Futon think it was a great day. And I don't care if you watch this today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now. I love every single freaking one of you. And yeah, swamp ass or marsh ass? Which one do you want? I think marsh ass just sounds more pleasant.